We're live, obviously. Can't we tell? This wouldn't be edited if we had Charlie's Brown's teacher behind Eric Landy right now. We're bored. It's August 17th, 2015, and, if it hasn't started yet, we're really starting to miss hockey. Welcome to this edition of Pucknology After Dark, presented by Happy Fish Swim School in 2 locations in Fremont and Livermore. I'm your host, Eric, also known as Puck Guy 14. I'm not sponsored by anything yet. Joined by AJ Strong, Shalina Goldman, Eric Landy for a brief moment before he takes off for a flight back home. Everybody, hello, good evening. How's everybody doing?
Kind of sick of delays.
Like hockey season when it's
exactly.
It's
so.
That last stretch before camp starts where it's like and yeah, so bored.
Yeah, it's to the point where we're going to be starting to have assistant captain's ice anytime now. So
yeah.
I just saw a tweet. It was like 51 days, I think, until we
officially drop the puck. I think they report to camp on the 11th. So it'll be.
They still haven't exactly announced that either, but I do think it's supposed to be on the 11th, which, just in case you guys are wondering, is my birthday. Happy birthday, Shalana! You're going back to work. Just in case you're wondering.
So no party the night before. Is that?
Oh, there will be a ton of. I don't give a shit. All of the party. I don't even know what you're doing yet, but you're all invited.
Sounds good to me. AJ, you're super quiet. You okay?
I'm just taking it all in, bro. Taking it all in.
Oh, gotcha. I guess the first thing we'll talk about it, because obviously it's the most recent NHL news. The NHL has struck a deal with Reebok's parent company, Adidas, to do the jerseys, and I would assume all the center ice stuff, starting apparently next season, right in time for the NHL's 100th anniversary. We probably won't see too much change in the upcoming year or two. Kind of similar to what Reebok did. They had the contract for a couple years before they rolled out the ill-fated Edge experiment. But everybody's concerned that Adidas will try to force in their triple stripe somewhere onto everybody's jerseys. I'll start with our fashion expert Shalino on this. Your thoughts on Adidas, which I kind of think nothing major is going to happen because it's the same thing.
Yeah, they're kind of rolling out a bigger deal than I think. It's just going to be another round of people complaining about how certain jerseys look. At the end of the day, I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. So
now, are the color panels the same? Because it's a parent company, so you would think all the color panels should stay the same. So we shouldn't have this weird edge transition, correct?
Shouldn't have anything. Again, they are owned by the same company. One thing that Gentry brought up this afternoon, and literally AJ sent me the link to the jersey minutes after Gentry did, was Adidas knows how to do the original teal, right? And actually, yes, they do because the Charlotte Hornets in the NBA, which Adidas has a contract under with them right now, um, uses the original Sharks teal. For you color experts, that's Pantone 3145, if that makes any sense, but that's the color combination that they would use. So they know how to do the original teal, per se, wink, wink, hint, hint.
Well, I hope that would. Well, it's not going to be for this year, but a 25th anniversary or a throwback similar to like what the Ducks are doing would be pretty cool.
Yeah, the Ducks, their jersey, if it's what aesthetics is saying it is really nice and a nice compliment to their uniforms already. So
And personally, I think that's what it should have always looked like. I do not
agree.
like the Web D. I think it's ugly.
Well, they wanted to get out of their own brand per se of get away from their Disney brand, but the Disney brand is so classic.
It's what we all know, right? I mean, it's kind of what we grew up with.
Right. But this just came down from one of our expert photoshoppers, Generation X-Wing. Yeah, there we go. So yes, the SAP Sharks. It probably will make us 25%. Will run faster by 25%. Right?
All right, guys.
SAP.
Well, I'm
All right, Eric. Have a good flight. Take care.
Thanks. You too.
It's the jersey is terrible.
Like how the SAP is also up in the corner where like the CRA would be. Oh,
right.
Lord. The teal clashes with blue, you guys. I don't like it.
The other the SAP in the corner, I just assume that is where the eventual Amici's patch will go.
Yes. and they'll probably what they'll do is they'll put like a little sounder in of Ralph Barbieri going, "Go Sharks!"
With regards to the logo, I just can't. I mean, when they released the current versions of their jerseys, you could see up above the nameplate it had the Reebok logo. So, and then my old jerseys, whether it was a Nike jersey where it was on the bottom waist or CCM or anything like that, it's just I could just picture it's going to be the same, or it's going to be a different logo, but probably used in the same spot with the same size. And instead of it saying Reebok, it'll just have the 3 lines. Big deal.
Just having the brand insignia real small, just kind of on the collar, or like with the Nike swoosh when they have it down below. That doesn't bother me. It's when you have like the huge billboard patch. Like on the sweater, it's ridiculous. It's like somebody walking around with like one of the button pins, like saying their favorite band, like hanging off. I don't like it. That's too much for me. But I'm not wearing it, so what can I say?
I mean, at this point, and Eric would be the one to ask. I mean, I've got a decent amount of jerseys, but I never really paid attention to who the manufacturer was, whether it was Coho or CCM or Nike or whoever. I know I have, I got a Reebok one. I know I have some CCM ones. I think that's usually the majority. But I mean, how many different?
You're looking at those logos now too, like just since you're aware of it, just because everything's brought to you by this and it's brought to you by this, and it's a big announcement. They change manufacturers. Probably not very many people looked at the label before. Oh.
Yeah, it hasn't been that much of a big deal. I mean, the biggest thing out of it before was when it was split up. A number of years ago, it was at one time it was CCM, Nike came in to do some jerseys along with Starter, and then I think we also had Pro Player, and I think for 1 year the Predators were Bauer.
God,
It,
I forgot about starter and pro player. I know I had like a starter pullover and a pro player pullover back in the 90s.
yeah, I mean, and Pro Player I think went under that after that 1 year,
Well, didn't
and
they get
Nike
absorbed by somebody? Because I mean, pro player, didn't they have the naming rights for like the Miami Dolphins football? Didn't they take the? Didn't Joe
they
Robbie become pro player park for a season or two?
yeah it was and they went under, and yet they kept the name of it on there for a while.
Well, I
So
guess the rights had been purchased,
the
so
rights had been purchased, so well, I guess we'll just keep it that way. But yeah, after that, it was basically Pro Player was bankrupt, Nike was pulling out, and Starter pretty much was gone. They were going to renew it, so it just became that half and half. Like the home jerseys were CCM, and the road jerseys and alternate jerseys were Coho. And then when Reebok bought CCM, just in time to promote Sidney Crosby up the yin yang. That was right after the lockout too. Everything went to Reebok, along with all the other.
well, thank God
pick-
Pets.com didn't purchase the naming rights for something.
But yeah, this is probably the most significant one since Reebok bought CCM. But this is the first time that it's changed hands
Well,
exclusively in quite some time, because it used to be just CCM, and then once the Avalanche moved, they were like the first ones to go, well, we're going to starter, so
well, Gen
I'm
X.
totally looking up starter stuff right now.
mhm.
I'm totally looking at starter stuff.
Gen X just posted an update with the Orchard supply patch going in the upper right, which is
Oh,
very
nice.
And he also mentioned that when it comes to 25%, it'll make you 25% more profitable.
Now I see what Gen X did on there, with the Orchard logo. It kind of just goes with the jersey. If we're going to have to be dealing with ads on the jerseys, can it at least kind of blend in with the jersey? I mean, that's the best thing to do, really, because otherwise you're just,
Oh
it's
yeah,
getting
of
in the way.
course.
It's like,
Yeah,
what am I
no,
looking at?
if that's like that SAP logo that he put on the teal jersey, it's
Mhm.
yeah, you have to fix the color on that so where the portion that is blue right now with that gradient, you would just have to change that to all white, and then probably the letters would be orange the way things are going.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to do something with it. Even with the orange, it's just gonna stick out like crazy. I just don't like the idea. You know,
Neither do I. But it's
you know,
if it's because here's what I think it is, and it's probably happened before. I don't know if there's anything that's documented of it, but it starts kind of like the San Francisco Spiders, where you had the one single sports channel
sports channel.
patch,
Hmm.
and so I could see like them trying to just throw in, after this season, once they've eliminated the 25th diamond patch that will be out this time, then I'm assuming that next season we're going to have. Oh, there you go. There's the 25th anniversary patch.
I love that patch. That patch is clean.
But I would assume that next season to replace that is going to be the NHL 100th anniversary patch, and then perhaps the season after that we start to see that space taken up by whether it's SAP or Orchard Supply or what have you. It wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, it's gonna be SAP. Hasa will be all over that.
Or maybe it takes that you have a shark's fin on one shoulder and an SAP patch on the other. Who knows? But nobody's if they go to an advertisement thing, people are gonna. It's gonna be like Drew Remenda. It's gonna be like when they put orange on the third generation jersey. It's gonna, nobody likes change, and especially when most people would agree that change is definitely not for the better. So fans would piss and moan and bitch for the entire season, and then something else would happen, and then they'd grab onto that and they'd forget about the advertisement thing. That's probably what they're counting on.
And people are still going to buy. People are still going to buy those jerseys. I mean, people might, whine about it and then be like, "No, But you're going to want new shit at some point. So
Yeah.
Everyone likes a new sweater.
True.
So,
Holiday sweater.
Well, not everybody likes the new sweater. I was, like I said, I bought the first generation. I have like 3 different versions of that. I have like 5 different. I've got like 2 teals, 2 whites, and a black of the second gen, and then never bought any of the third gen. And now I own a couple of the current generation. So, has there been any talk? I mean, I know we kind of covered this before, or at least we glossed over. There's been nothing mentioned along the lines of an announcement or an unveiling of the
No.
of the heritage jersey, right? No, nothing at this point.
Nothing at this point. Even Aesthetics, came out with some leaks of the Anaheim and Colorado third jerseys. Colorado, which pretty much stealing our Stadium Series template, which actually isn't too bad of a third jersey, I think. Anaheim's looks sick, of course, because it's slightly retro-ish and new, because I know this is a shock. Horizontal stripes for Anaheim? What? But nothing on the Sharks one per se. I still have to make that concept for you, bud, of what I think they'll probably end up doing. So, but just in case, if you're a fan of Adidas and trusting by their sales in North America, nobody is. Ooh, get ready. The jersey could look like this soon. We could have triple stripes down the shoulders in no time.
no.
With a big ol'
No.
Ooh.
I'll be the first to say that for the longest time, like when I was a kid, even that whole thing with Run DMC making the whole Adidas thing popular and the track suits, and that was like the whole breakdancing culture, and that kind of popularized it for a while. And you had there was FIFA, there was another, I forget, there was another company. I think it was TI. But those were like the big like tracksuit things with the breakdancers and everything. And yeah, in the 90s, it seemed to be pretty much Reebok and Nike dominated when it came to fitness shoes.
There was one point kind of towards the end. Oh, puppy. There was kind of one point towards the end of the 90s where like a lot of girls wore like the little Adidas kicks, but I think that only lasted for like a year. I do kind of remember that, and everything 90s is coming back style-wise right now, like big chunky platform sneakers and like ridiculous flannel shirts tied around. All of that's coming back, so like little Adidas style jackets.
Look at Nike and look at Reebok. There's actually a division in Reebok now, Reebok Classics, and they've re-released so many shoes that were popularized in the 90s, whether it was the Shaq Gnosis basketball shoes, Kevin Durant's, or Sean Kemp's. I mean, just Reebok has unleashed holy hell with these Reebok Classics, and Nike joined the fray. They're putting out a whole bunch of Jordan. They're re-releasing, Jordans from way back in the day when they first started coming out. So
even I had this one shoe that Bo Jackson promoted, and out of nowhere, because I was looking for running shoes for my mom for her birthday, and I was like, holy crap. Not only did I buy that once, I bought it twice because I love the shoe so much. And I'm like, Wait, what's that doing here? This isn't 1990 anymore. This is crazy. So, yeah, I mean the 90s trends are coming back, so I'm just waiting for Adidas to jump on the Zubaz bandwagon for a third jersey.
Well, I will
Maybe.
say most of my stuff, like I have Adidas socks, and I have like a couple of Adidas like dry fit shirts or whatnot. But yeah, I can't. I think I've owned one pair of Adidas shoes in my life, and I mean they held up. They were fine, but just for the most part, I was just not much of a fan of their style. I usually went towards Nike or Reebok or the occasional back in the day LA Gear.
Oh wow!
That's old school, baby.
What? No British Knights? I mean,
No,
come
I
on.
was never a New Balance. I was never a New Balance or a BK guy at all. I
Oh
knew plenty
goodness.
who were, knew a ton who were, just wasn't me.
Oh goodness. I think Shalina froze. Yeah,
Uh-oh.
she's froze.
She's frozen.
She'll come back. She'll come back on. But to kind of finish this up, it just to me, you look at the NBA and what because Adidas has been the exclusive supplier for them for the longest time. We don't see the triple stripes on them except for on the like the sideline gear. They really didn't touch anything. I know for like special events for like the All-Star game. Yeah, they uh, they throw the triple stripes all over the place. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see like
But
the triple stripe.
With Adidas though, they're sponsoring, so it's like they make the uniforms, right? Whereas, like
Right,
say, Nike has a deal with a particular player, so he still has to wear an Adidas uniform, but he's got to wear his Nike kicks.
right. So like for say, um, Sidney Crosby has a deal with Reebok. Although I wouldn't be surprised if he were to flip to Adidas when that happens, because they are owned by the same company.
And
I
then he
wouldn't be
also
surprised.
has his deal with Summer's Eve. So
Wow.
no, no,
Oh
not
my.
funny. No, okay.
Uh,
I was
sorry,
looking for it.
I
Here
wasn't
it comes.
prepared for it.
Here it comes.
Okay.
We're waiting. While we
Excuse me.
wait, we do have a question on Twitter.
What? We actually have people watching?
Yes, there
There
it
you go.
is. That was a nice time delay. It's just, oh, okay. See, something else to discuss besides the whole uniform potential changes is the
Don't like
Sharks.
it.
Say what?
What, Shalina?
What's up? Say,
No, what
talk
did you
about something. How much we all don't like Adidas. We don't like Adidas stripes.
I
because we
don't
have
have a
nothing
problem.
about right now, you
I
guys.
like
That's
the I
because
like
blood.
no
Because
basically
it's that last lull before the season starts. Nothing else super crazy has happened. We're all just kind of waiting for shenanigans to strike and see if this team's going to be different. But until then, we have
this
just
is
kind
a
of
good
waiting.
point. This is where we're at.
Well, we got this good question on Twitter. For those of you who don't know, that the Sharks had sent out a tweet in the last week or so about, do you want to be in a Sharks commercial? Tweet us a video or submit a video through their website or whatever, kind of that details your favorite Sharks memory over the last 25 years. So I sent one in, and I don't know how they're exactly going to use it. I don't know if it's going to be part of a commercial that they put together for bumpers and promos for CSN broadcasts. I don't know if it's going to be something that they show pre-game inside the Shark Tank. I'm sure it could be a combination of both. I don't know if they'll be using the actual submissions or they'll just be using that to choose people and then have them come in and kind of reshoot it, but more professional audio, obviously, maybe a more professional background. But anyway, I sent in my video, and Falling Jake on Twitter says, I did mine. He wants to know what your favorite Sharks memory is. So I'll start with you, Eric.
Oh God. See, this is why I haven't been able to submit one yet because there have been so many.
I would have swore it would have had something to do with the number 14.
You'd be surprised. I mean, Ray Whitney's overtime goal against Calgary was something special.
What about being the
Um,
seventh man?
well, yeah, that personally was awesome. When I got to drop the puck before the game, that was one of my all-time favorite moments, especially since it was against LA. It was fan appreciation night or day, actually, and we were down 2 goals with about a minute left in the game, and Stewie got a goal in with about 20 seconds left on Roman Chekmonic, and then Gen X, uh, and then with like 2.3 seconds left, Stewie takes a tip in from Domfus to tie the game up to send it into overtime. And then, sure enough, with like 2 minutes left in overtime, Domfus scores. Place is going nuts, and it was like quite the send off into their best postseason run in history.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah, that probably would be it for me. But yeah, I mean, you could talk about Bake's game-winning goal against the Red Wings. I was even thinking the sweep against Vancouver, our first ever sweep, beating Colorado, in that sense. So you could go with any of them.
see, well, I
Go
was just
ahead.
going to say, from what I submitted was a video of me. Wow, Shalane is clearly having AOL issues. Mine, the video that I sent in just basically talked about how electric San Jose was that summer or spring of '94, going to the playoffs as that 8th seed and knocking off Detroit. And just that you couldn't, you couldn't go anywhere in San Jose without seeing somebody in teal, whether it was a jersey or a shirt or whatever. But yeah, there's a couple that came to mind. There was Nolan's center ice shot against St. Louis. There was Nolan calling his shot in the All-Star game.
Exactly.
There's not the because Jake is now also saying, "What about your worst Sharks memory?" And for me, it's like is it the Timu's across the crease goal? Is it for me, it might actually be the puck off the stanchion. There's a couple.
The worst one I can make a video of nightmarish Sharks moments. We could talk about Garpenlov's crossbar, the Toskala just going halfway into his zone, gives it right to Samsonov after we blow a 5-minute power play.
Well, Toskala there was a couple moments that he had that you just go, oh dear Lord. But there was one that popped into my head, and I was as soon as it popped in my head, I was like, oh no, Eric's just gonna go, oh shit, crap. Well, getting back to a favorite memory, Ricci scoring the hat trick on Fan Appreciation Night. Fan Appreciation Night, where the ice was just you couldn't even see ice because it was just covered in hats. That was I mean, Nabokov getting the goal against Vancouver in Vancouver. That was a really just exciting moment.
The one against Boston, where we were down by a goal, Nolan ties it, and then with like 19 seconds left, Marco Sturm scores an unbelievable goal against I think it was against Defoe.
But what about the Sharks coming back to win 6-5 in overtime against LA with Chichu? I mean, with Setaguchi.
Setaguchi. I mean, that was one.
That was the insanest comeback I'd ever seen them pull off.
Stunner at Staples, of course. Shalana, we're
wait. Are you guys still listing like your favorite Sharks moments?
We were asked favorites. We were asked favorites, and we were also asked worst.
You guys were asked worst? Oh
Yes.
wow.
What
Wait,
our
okay.
worst
So,
memory would have been.
okay, so I saw that tweet and I kind of went over it. So are you guys submitting these and they're going to put them into a commercial, or are they doing a montage
I
at
think the Sharks are doing some sort of montage commercial thing. So it's, they're just asking people to send in, a video of people telling what their favorite memory is. And so, Eric and I were going over a few of ours that were, they're very memorable moments. And then, like I said, on Twitter, we were asked what some of the worst ones were, and we named off some of those. The Jake who asked us, he said one of his favorites is Jumbo versus the Kings. I'm assuming that's when he, got on his back and slid across the ice all turtle style. That was pretty funny.
Oh my.
Shalane, do you have one?
I don't know if I can pick just what you give me. Maybe like 5 or 6 minutes. I could probably wrap off a couple.
There you go. And if you do, I'm sure we can sponsor it by SAP software.
That's right.
Making your business memorable.
I saw that. That is actually pretty smart. That actually might happen now. Good job, Gen X.
Yes.
Oh,
well done. Oh my goodness.
Seriously, with all the jokes, I'm sure our AOL sponsorship will be coming in very shortly too, guys.
No, oh my god, no, I saw I had emailed somebody about something from one of my other jobs the other day, and somebody had an AOL email address, and I almost messaged you, and then I was doing something else, I forgot.
Oh,
you can still
boy.
have like an AOL.
Oh, that would have been
ridiculous.
awesome.
Oh, come on. Shush, you guys. No, and kind of stemming to that a little bit.
I almost want to like create an AOL email address just to do it, like just that.
Be one of the cool
That's
kids.
actually really great.
That would be really funny.
Just be one of the cool kids.
To do
Get
that.
one.
Can you even do it? Can you even get that anymore?
Yes, it's free now.
Oh, I figured it'd be free, and I still have a I have some sort of AOL account for still sitting here from a decade ago when I used to do with Instant Messenger for AIM. So I know I have an account somewhere.
AIM was the shit.
Oh yeah.
I love it. Oh, simpler times, you guys. Simpler times. Before all these shenanigans. Before Periscope and Twitter.
Oh, I know.
Craziness.
Kind of going over here, we have SJ Sharkbite. Is it too mainstream if I said my Sharks moment as of now is Hurdle's fourth goal? That one's a good one. As for
that was damn memorable.
As for one of the worst, failing Jake is changing it to Monador and OT of Game 1 of the conference final. Yeah, that's what I call the worst line change in NHL history, because somebody thought it's great that Calgary has the puck and have four of the five players change to let Nappy leave wide open. But I mean, kind of just shooting the shit here because we have nothing else to do right now. It's 90 some odd degrees in probably all of our spots.
It got I mean, like yesterday, because normally at this time, of year west of the Golden Gate Bridge, it's just like 60 and foggy. And
oh man!
It got up to 6. It was I was so confused.
Okay. Gen X is putting Shalana on AOL right now.
Hey.
Your connection.
Excellent.
Your connection's pretty sketch tonight.
She's got the giggles tonight too. I like it. But you're right, Shirley. What's funny is I was looking at the forecast like from a couple of days ago, and in Half Moon Bay was it going to be 83 degrees.
It was like 101 in Santa Cruz, dude.
Yeah,
Right, that's what I'm saying. Santa Cruz over 100. Half Moon Bay is 83. Usually you go to Half Moon Bay if you want to freeze your butt off during the summertime.
exactly. Yeah, no, it's been really, really, it was like confusing, and there's like no ocean wind here, and it was super weird. I like the heat, but I was even kind of like, no, I'm supposed to be in my sweats right now. Like, this is garbage. I'm not supposed to be able to like be sitting out on my porch at like 9 at night. This
Yeah,
is silly.
you're in the
the-
East Bay, right, Shalina?
No, I'm like south. I'm like right at the SF Daly City border, like at like the south part of Lake Merced.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm in like Fog Central right now. I'm right down the hill from the beach. So it's only super fun. I mean, it's nice and cool here right now, but like last week it was getting up towards 80, and I was like, no, 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 no.
Oh. I couldn't believe it because I've been able to count like on one hand how many times it's been hotter in Santa Cruz than it has been in San Jose.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things because how I've always been told is that the valley doesn't get as much rain because the Santa Cruz Mountains just block everything and just, kills it. Which is why everybody, should know that when you go to a game at Levi's Stadium, it's going to be hot as hell.
Oh, I know. And well, and see, the funny thing is I remember, like I think it was maybe about 10 years ago or so, we went through a similar stretch where it was like 4 days straight of just ridiculous heat in the Bay Area, and we were living in Foster City at the time. And when we left, it said, and we didn't have AC. And when you live in Foster City, you generally don't ever need AC, but I want to say it was right about 100 degrees, and I think it was a Saturday, and we were like, okay, screw this noise, get on 280, head over 1, and from the time I think we hit, as we're going north on 280, we saw the exit for Hickey, and it was still like 100. We literally drove, I think, about 4 miles, if that, got onto 1 down to Pacifica, and within 4 miles, the temperature dropped 40 degrees.
Oh.
Oh yeah, just wall of fog, just that straight wall.
But there was no. That was the whole thing, though. There wasn't even any fog. It wasn't cloudy at all. It was just that it was like the hills were blocking any type of sea air, any breeze. It was just stagnant throughout the Bay Area. But as soon as you got over that little hill at Tamferran or whatever, boom. Or not Tamferran. What's that mall right there at 280 and 1?
380?
Ceremony.
Yeah, Ceremony. Yeah, as soon as you got over that Ceremony, boom, just knocked you over with the cold air. You're like, oh my God, this is so good.
So I'll ask you a question.
No, the very really difficult. It'll be like down to SJ, and it'll be sweltering,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll go in. Do you know how hard it is to dress for that noise? Horrible.
It's not just me, right? You're getting like every 6th word she's saying.
I'm getting what she's
Eric, what were you
saying.
gonna say?
I'm getting what she's getting at, but yeah, it's a little rough, but it's fine.
Fucking Gen X. So, well, we've talked sports, we've talked weather. Is the stock report coming up after the break?
Well, we need to check up on our sponsors. Come on now. Come on now. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at the SAP stock.
Oh, dear God, let's not.
Presented by Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
And now, S.J. Sharkbite says, and now it's time for local news. Decision 2016, maybe the new Star Wars trailer?
SAP went down 46 cents to close at 70.16. I can't even do this right.
All right, let's get back to what we were talking about. All right, so as the jerseys, the commercial thing, has there been any other thing besides? I mean, obviously we've got the event happening on the 12th where there were VIP tickets, the Sharks Fan Fest. They even have a tailgate party ticket where there's going to be, it said, like celebrity bartenders and you can do a beer tasting. You planning on going to that at all?
Who, me? I plan to. I
Mhm.
haven't gotten my tickets yet because, well, I haven't had a chance to. I've been dealing with a bunch of crap, so I haven't had a chance to get in on that. But yeah, I'll be there somehow, some way, even if it's just for part of it.
Cool.
Uh,
Apparently,
yeah.
Gen X wants to know how the Taylor Swift concert went over the weekend. Is that what it is?
No. Apparently, some of my friends didn't get home until about 2 in the morning.
Dude, I heard between the concert and the commute traffic on Friday, I heard people that had left to go to that show at like 5 o'clock missed like the first two songs. Like that's how bad it was.
Well, let's be real here. I mean, you need to be at Levi Stadium 4 hours before a game.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, and Gen X wants us to know SAP stock didn't go down; it just became more stock price efficient.
Oh my God, Gen X! For the love of God, just get on here.
Send him the link, man.
I did. I sent everybody the link.
Oh man. No, he's busy photoshopping, bro.
Oh my God! What does he have to do every single jersey tonight? Come on.
Well, where? Okay. Dude, you want to talk about
Yes,
like
Shalana.
tweets coming in from nowhere? It says hearing that San Jose has traded Han into an Applebee's for a couple half-off appetizer coupons. I'm like, where did this like random tweet from back in March come from? That was random. Nettage, do all guests of Pucknology After Dark eat at the House of Prime Rib like those fancy folks at CSA?
Hey, we will have a sponsor, and yet CSN Sports Talk Live doesn't. Shoot, we should have sent the link over to Jim Cosimore.
Hey, how screwed up is it? I mean, like somebody's got to figure this out for me. How is it that Avaya Stadium can have a perfectly manicured lawn that everybody has no issues with, yet Levi's cannot go a week without having to repatch all of their grass?
That's had a better ice rink than they have like turf for the Niners. It's ridiculous. It's so bad.
It's not just me, right?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's really not.
Oh, I'm thinking.
I haven't been to.
Shalana needs to get her butt down to a Starbucks so they have a better Wi-Fi connection. You are cutting out so hard. I'm literally getting like every sixth or seventh word.
Yes, but it's still entertaining and.
Oh no, it's entertaining. I'm just saying.
And I'm just gonna say, after all my problems that I had back in January, I like how I haven't had much, or knock on wood, how I haven't had much problems. I got this from a friend of mine, and I'll ask you this, because this has come up on a sports logo message board. There's some quotes on here. Talking about how I'm looking through this here. There's an I don't want to say an aura among us Sharks fans. There's some out there that thinks that we deserve a Stanley Cup, or how we have perceived as choke artists. Do you? And I'm looking at some of the quotes that they're quoting here. The Sharks may have not reached hockey's nirvana, but failures they are not. In their entire existence, the Sharks have only missed the playoffs 6 times. Not many professional sports teams can play that. This person comes back with, "You say that now, but just wait until the off-season following expansion. The Las Vegas Black Knights have only missed the playoffs once in their existence." Um, or the Shark Tank, the unofficial name for what is now called SAP Center, is considered one of the loudest arenas and hardest for visiting teams to win. The Kings seem to manage it just fine. Looking through here, every day there will be games played at several Sharks Ice locations throughout the Bay Area. The Adult Hockey League is the largest adult hockey league in the entire country. To quote somebody else, your rec league is a blight upon the sport.
Wow.
A Ducks fan replied and said, "That's hilarious. God, I hate those people." Is there like a swagger or an attitude among Sharks fans that you get at that make everybody else go nuts? And
Not that I can tell.
I know we're Sharks fans per se, so that way it doesn't come off too well. But at the same time,
Yeah, but you know what though? It's like I support the Niners, and yeah, there's a good amount of Niner douchebags out there that have, that act like their shit doesn't stink for no reason whatsoever. It's like you've done nothing in the last 20 years for the most part. Yeah, you had three, okay, before the three straight NFC Championship games and the one Super Bowl appearance. For the 18, 19 years leading up to that, you did nothing. You had a couple cute seasons with Mariucci, but then you had to deal with the farce that was Nolan and Erickson and Singletary. It was a joke. I mean, to watch that team from most of the 2000s was painful. And to see certain Niner fans try to, especially when you look at the fact that some of these Niner fans weren't even alive the last time they won a Super Bowl, and they're trying to act like they're, oh my God, they're fantastic. Yeah, I can see with Niner fans. I can kind of see it with some Giants fans. Yeah, there's some that, and of course 3 championships in 5 seasons is going to do that to you. And you have the best ballpark in all of baseball. Maybe you have something to talk about. Sharks fans, no, I think they're hardcore, but let's be honest. If anybody from SoCal, whether be it Anaheim or LA, I don't see where they would be saying that the Sharks have some sort of entitlement idea, but I don't know why, because all they have to do is say trophy case. Because Anaheim has 1, LA has 2, and the Sharks have none. So there's nothing you can do. Now, granted, maybe you could call us perhaps a better fan base, that we've had more sellouts, we're a louder building, we're not fair weather fans for the most part. I don't believe they are. Whereas, LA, it doesn't matter what the sport is, they've had that moniker for decades, that they are the fair weather team, because there's just so much stuff to do down there. Let's show up in the 3rd inning and leave in the 7th. That's been a long-standing joke for a long time, Eric.
Yeah, I just don't get it. The other thing I don't get, too, and I'll ask you guys this, is the easy way of calling us chokers. Okay. And don't get me wrong, we have choked in the playoffs. My question is this, though: Are we actually the chokiest chokers that ever choked in the NHL? Because I can give you a couple of teams that actually deserve it, I think, a little bit more than the Sharks.
I think it's perspective. A lot of people are going to call the Sharks a choke team because they let go of a 3-0 stranglehold in a series. Well, the Yankees did that against the Red Sox a few years back. No one's calling the Yankees well, but then again, the Yankees had 26, 27 World Series titles before that. But it's just the fact that every once in a while it's going to happen where you let go of a stranglehold. But look at it big picture, the team that eventually won the cup, it took them 7 games to get by us. So yeah, we won the first 3, but had it gone 1-1, 1-1, 1-1, boom, it still goes 7. But then the Sharks, they battled, they played a good series, they just couldn't get lucky at the end. It's like that series where the home team won every game. So it still went 7. You lost to the eventual cup winners. What can you do? But everybody's going to slap that choke label on there, and I think a lot of it too is some of it the Bay Area fans, whether it's like Warrior fans or Raider fans or hell, just about any sports fan over the last 15 years. Let's be honest, San Jose Sharks are the most, I would say, successful professional sports out of the major 4 over the last 15 years. They've gone to the damn playoffs, 10 of the last or 12 of the last 15 years. There's no other sports franchise around here that can say that. So the fact they're just so goddamn happy when the team gets to the playoffs. So you tell me, the Sharks go to the playoffs that often. Should they have gotten further? Yeah, it would have been nice, but they say Stanley Cup is the hardest trophy to win. So you tell me.
Yeah, I agree, Shalina.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. Yay! I'm
You're
not on
doing...
AOL anymore, you guys. It's to me, just from where I sit and watching it and watching the fan base. I mean, this just sounds like trash talk between 2 different fan bases. It's this probably happens with other teams in other parts of the country that we don't know about. NorCal, SoCal sports rivalries, we don't like each other, and that's just kind of something that's going to happen. That's the easiest label that they can put onto the Sharks because of their even with going to the playoffs every year for over a decade, to still not have a cup. That's just kind of part of sports smack talk. That's the easiest thing that they can kind of slap on the fan base. Oh, well, your team jokes. I understand that it's somewhat infuriating. However, I wouldn't read too much into it.
Yeah, I just look at it as in a sense that St. Louis, yeah, they went to the Cup final 3 years in a row. It was the first 3 years of expansion when they were in a 12-team league.
And didn't they go to the playoffs like 16 straight seasons?
They were in the playoffs for like 20-something seasons, for that matter. And the same thing with the Chicago Blackhawks. I think it was like 25, 26 years in a row that they made the playoffs and didn't win anything.
But at least though, with St. Louis, as far as I know, I can't remember St. Louis, that city actually really knowing championships. Chicago had the Bulls, so they know what championship. You had other teams there that, this team didn't make it. We've got another team to kind of rally behind. Whereas St. Louis, you had the Rams. All right.
But you have like the Cardinals. I mean, here and there were winning titles. But yeah, I mean, St. Louis. I mean, you can even go as far as Nashville, who's only won 1 playoff series in franchise history. You can. Nashville is the big one to me, but nobody seems to get on them. I just see as a lot of I see a lot of it as Sharks bashing.
Are you surprised that it took them that they rode Barry Trotz for that long?
I think they were thinking outside the box, per se. That that the system was fine. It was just bringing in the players to kind of mold them in, and they had some great teams. I mean, let's be honest here. I think at one time they had Korea one year. I think the following year they had Forsberg, and the Sharks took them out each year in 5 games. You know, personally, to me, it's just bad luck on their part. Um, but you could say the same thing with the Sharks. Barkaloff hitting the crossbar. Um, you
The
know,
stanchion.
the stanchion, the Toscala giveaway that changed the complexity of the series against Edmonton, which I still think '06 was their year to make the Cup final. Um, the reverse sweep. Um,
See, I still expected more out of them in '04.
I did too, just because it was the 6th seed. I thought they for sure should have had a little bit more. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just getting frustrating over and over again that we keep hearing this. Chokiest chokers. Oh, you have an enlarged adult ice leak. Good for you. It's just this little shit all over and over and over again.
Okay, well, let me put it to you this way. Either you, I mean, you and Shalana, answer me this. Would you rather be, say, the Warriors? And now we're only going back 25 years because the Sharks have only been around 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather be the Warriors, who over 25 years, I think, went to the playoffs 4 times over that time, never got close in 3 of them, and then won the big one after 25 years? Or would you rather be the Sharks, who over the course of 25 seasons went to the playoffs 18 of those seasons, but never win it? So, do you want 4 playoffs, whereas for 15 of those years, halfway through the season, your team isn't even close?
I don't even know if it's a matter of it's the attack of calling the fan or calling out the Sharks and the fan base as being choke artists. I don't think is going. It's not about how many years they've gone to the playoffs and then not gone to the final. It's how they've been booted out. I think that's kind of what they're going after.
I get that.
I think that's what they're going after. And oh my god, the look on your face right now, if looks could kill. You just look so pissed. I'm sorry. It was just kind of funny. You're like staring off in the distance and you just look really, really pensive and angry.
Well,
like De Niro.
I just don't understand why, it's always this blatant attack, and it's not, and the person that's calling this out is from Toronto.
So this person really, literally has nothing better to do.
Like us, we have nothing better to do on August 17th. But I mean,
yeah, but
that's
the
point.
Yeah, but we're
not like we're going after Leafs fans right now,
But as Sharks fans, though, we actually have hope that we see, hockey games with our favorite team involved after April 15th. When was the last time Toronto's held that hope?
What, 2013?
Maybe.
In talk about chokiest chokers, I mean, they blew a 3-goal lead in Game 7 and lost in overtime to the eventual Eastern Conference champs.
I just look at it as
anyways,
worry about yourself. Worry about yourself.
I just find it funny how we're just, like the one that gets kicked upon all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, they have shit the bed in some spectacular fashion, and until they don't, shed. You want to shed the label. It's the whole. I kind of look at it as the that whole bat flip mentality that has kind of taken over MLB over the last couple of years. It's all about the bat flip and everything. A guy puts it 2 feet above the fence. It's not like he destroyed it. It's not like he almost put it out of the park. It cleared the fence by about 2 feet, and he's bat flipping it like he just won Game 7 of the World Series. And it all comes down to, and then you see pitchers, whether it's Mad Bum or somebody else, getting all pissed off about a guy flipping his bat, and it just comes down to the fact of you don't want him to flip his bat, then don't give up the home run. And you don't want to be labeled as chokers, then don't give up a 3-0 series lead. It's that simple.
And don't throw your gum at the guy running to first base either.
Oh my God, that was so awesome. Sanchez was like going, "What the fuck was that?"
That was so weird. That was the weirdest thing ever. I mean, why? I want to know what would make you think that. Yeah, you're angry. I get pissed off. That's not going to go through my head. I'm going to throw my gum at this fool. No. No. That's ridiculous.
God damn, that was fucking funny. You know what? See, at least that's been the thing, is that for a long time, you think about it, like 2004 to 2010, or obviously 2009, that time frame, there was nothing going on really. I mean, the Raiders were, they hadn't done dick. They went to the Super Bowl a couple years before and were summarily just destroyed, worse than any other team I've ever seen. Right? The 49ers were shit. The A's and the Giants were, nothing.
They were both pretty. The A's were okay. The Giants were really, really bad. Actually, the Giants weren't even good up through the beginning. Like the fact that they went, because remember they had to win that last game of the regular season to even go into postseason.
But it was just a case of, it was like in 2002 you had the Raiders with the Super Bowl, and then you had the Giants. They went to that World Series. They should have won it in Game 6. Dusty Baker screws the pooch. Huge. They lose in Game 7. And then you had that run of like 6 or 7 years where pretty much every sports team except the Sharks had no fucking chance of sniffing a postseason berth. But the Sharks were fairly regular, and they seemed like they were making some good moves. It's like that would have been such a great opportunity to win the Cup, because essentially every other team in the Bay just sucked at that point. But at least over the last 5 seasons, the Giants have been at least a nice kind of diversion. It's like, well, okay, the Sharks are probably, they might screw the pooch or whatever, but hey, you know what? They're screwing the pooch right when the Giants are getting interesting, and they'll just take me all the way into next season. So I'm okay with that. And the Giants have just had as much of those stories that we can think of, whether it was the puck off the stanchion where everybody was just the only person on the planet who knew where that fucking puck was Bieksa. It is just stuff like that, just those kind of hard luck stories. But then you look at like Pablo hitting 3 jacks in Game 1 of the 2012 series.
Verlander, look on Verlander's face when he had to come.
Verlander just going wow. And then in Game 2, you have Blanco who bunts a ball down the third base line that refused to go like the ball. You could have
played with the whole way. It was like, am I gonna go foul? Am I not? What do you think I'm gonna do?
Or then you have the luck for the Giants where, Game 7 NLCS, Hence hits a ball 3 times.
Yeah.
Gives a screwball, and then you have that. And then I think it was Game 1 of the World Series, I think Sandoval hits a bouncer that literally bounces on...
bounces off the third base bag.
Yeah, and turns into...
And Cabrera was like, what the hell was that? And then, they've had some remarkable luck over the... you look at it. See, now, to me, you look at like some of the stuff that has happened to San Jose, and like the 2012 Giants were the direct opposite. They were down 2-0 in a best-of-5 with Cincinnati. They come back and win 3 elimination games in a row. And when Posey hit the grand slam in Game 3, I was like, we got this. Like, I felt so confident after that.
5.
Big time.
Game 5 off Lato.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And that.
But It's
and they weren't hitting that series. Like, remember, like I think it was Bronson Arroyo like shut them out in game 2. Like, they weren't hitting anything. They had the coldest bats on the planet. They won that was so nervous. That's the game that Buster Posey hit the grand slam. I think that was that Sergio Romo, Jay Bruce, like 15 pitch at bat where like everything went foul and it was really stressful.
And to see Barry Zito just emerge throughout that entire postseason, it's like that's like that would be like John Scott becoming like a goal per game player in the postseason. I mean, like, where did this even come from after everything Barry Zito had done for the Giants up until that point? It's funny that I talked to friends of mine and we kind of go over, what was the better Giants team? Was it 2010, 2012, 2014, or what was the better story? And I got one friend who says, no, 2010 definitely, because it was the first, it was the Misfits, and somebody will point to 2014, just talking about, dude, just mad bum in the World Series. That's all you need to say. And I still go back to, I think 2012 is always going to be my favorite, just because if you look at the series in a big picture where you had the whole thing with Melky Cabrera midseason, who was kicking ass. He won the All-Star Game MVP. It was a great story. Then he gets booted, and then they brought in Hunter Pence. You weren't sure how that was going to work out in the outfield, and he was kind of a crazy guy who didn't really seem to fit in with what the Giants were trying to do at that point. Then you see them bring in Scutaro because you couldn't find anybody to take over at second base. They find this gem in an aging Scutaro who, all of a sudden is just money in the postseason. And then you've got the 3 bombs from Panda in game 1. And like I said, being down 2-0 against Cincinnati, being down 3-1 against St. Louis, coming back, winning those, and then turning around and still seeing, after what they did in 2010, still seeing what they did. I think I found one sports writer, and it might have been a local one, that picked San Francisco. All the national guys, ESPN, MLB.com, everybody picked Detroit, and then boom, they got ceremoniously broomed right up their ass.
Well, nobody even picked the Giants to win Game 7 against the Cardinals.
I couldn't talk to anybody like this past World Series. I couldn't talk to anybody on the day of Game 7. Like, a couple people tried to text me. I was like, I can't talk to you right now. I am a mess. I was. The Royals were the hot team. They were so. Without Madison Bumgarner, the Giants would have lost. But to kind of bring it back around, you're mentioning all of the components of these Giants teams. And not just about that they've won these World Series, but what's kind of brought, what's made them so memorable, all the different storylines and the chemistry, and if the Sharks want to shake this, to bring it back around to hockey, if the Sharks want to shake this that
Monkey.
label of being the chokiness, if that's what they're calling it, it's they have to find those little things. They have to find those little those anchors, and that's kind of.
The hell was that?
Message from the mothership.
Yeah, that was really weird.
I have no idea.
Yeah, no, it's like they need to find that Hunter Pence personality.
It's
right.
Or not. It's as we're getting into this, as we're getting into the upcoming season, there's a lot of expectation about there being changes with bringing in the new coach, bringing in there's a.
Uh-oh, did we lose her? Did she freeze again?
Is going to be changes, and so now it's going to be who do we have a picture of right there? I can't see. I can't tell who that is.
It's Hunter Pence
photoshopped.
All I'm going to say.
Photoshopped as the captain, no less.
Yes, well, of course, he is a leader. So, but you make a good point, both of you. They need a leader. They need to go into the to um,
Depends the play. Okay, that would be fantastic.
I just,
right.
and if you look at that, the Stadium Series stuff, the behind the scenes stuff, like, doesn't Pavelski seem like the closest thing that they would have?
Well, I know of somebody else, but he was already named captain. So um, but yeah, I think so.
Now, who for the smart money? Who's your pick to be wearing the C come October?
Well, we had this on the last episode. If it's me to put money down for who it is, I'll say I'll say um, what was it? I think I said Vlasic would be named the captain if I was putting money down. But other than that, I would say Pavelski's the guy if they're not going to give it back to somebody else. Because Pavelski's going to be 31 this season. Will he be here at the end of his contract? I don't know. We'll see. Chester Chivos tweeted in, maybe Joel Ward will be that Pence guy.
That would be great.
I'd like to see that. Well, one of the things about Ward is that they keep, one of the big things is like, oh, well, he's good in the playoffs. It's like it's not just playoffs. He's good in clutch positions. He plays well under pressure, and that's something that I think the team can definitely benefit from. Is having one of those guys that thrives off of pressure, and I like that.
Yeah, see, I absolutely agree with you. That's one of the things that used to drive me nuts when people would kind of defend Milan Mahalik, say, "Oh, look at his numbers, and every time I was go, that's all well and good, some of his numbers, but it's like, when are those numbers happening? Is he do you want a guy who scores 37 goals, and when you go back and look and isolate those goals that say 10 of them are coming when it's essentially garbage time, where it's an empty netter, or it's a case of he's getting a goal with 6 minutes left when the Sharks are already up 5-1? Or do you want the guy who scores maybe 18 goals, but half of them are meaningful, like game winners? It's like in the last 2 minutes, he's the guy who just knows how to bring it and find the back of the net when it counts the most. And it's like, I'll take that guy.
Well, that's exactly, like, that's the difference between just looking good on paper and exactly, like, when are those goals, when are those goals coming, when are those takeaways happening, and that's one of those components. They need one of those guys that can consistently step up in those situations. I see that from, I think, and they need someone that'll be a rallying point, because the Sharks have guys on this team that can do that can be that, that can step up, but they seem to need a push. So
well, hopefully DeBoer is able to bring something like that, especially if he's, from what we're hearing, not afraid to take away ice time, no matter how many years that guy has in the league. Is if you're not pulling your weight, you're going to be, sitting your ass on the bench.
Agreed. Speaking of newcomers this season, it was officially unveiled today. That is Martin Jones's mask for the upcoming season.
I love that.
A little too much orange for me, but I like it.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, I like that.
I think it's pretty cool how it's all set up. The 25th anniversary is the backplate, of course.
Yeah.
Definitely has a lot of the logos on there for his first go around. Definitely something we haven't really seen from goaltenders from the past. Nemo kind of had a signature side per se. of it.
It
But
also
yeah,
seemed like, for the most part, a lot of the goalies for the Sharks over the last decade, it's always been the color, the base color has always been teal, whereas this one is white, which I think is kind of cool.
yeah, it's a nice change. I like how he kind of has the lace up at the bottom of the mask. Um,
See, I really like that white plate on the back with like the silhouettes of the shark, and you see an anchor and
mhm.
everything like that. I dig that.
Yeah, it's a
No,
nice.
I am very taken with I did notice because I think they posted this on Twitter today, maybe either
I think
yesterday or
so.
today. And one of the first things I noticed was how many Sharks logos are on it. Um, and I was like, wow, okay, new guy, going all in. I kind of
Hmm.
like it, and I don't know, but it's not too garish though. I really like the color scheme. I love that patch on the back. I love that 25th anniversary logo. That's just my favorite.
It definitely has a chrome finish too. If you saw that video on Twitter today, so it looks really cool, and it'll have a nice shiny effect on it later on in the year. Which leads me to this. I'm going to ask you guys this, and of course, while there is one goaltender mask in the Hockey Hall of Fame, we'll exempt that because it actually eventually created was inspired by to be our head tunnel per se when it came out. Your favorite Sharks goaltender mask?
Oh, it's
Is
not
it
even
Brian Hayward?
it's not even close. It's like I look at Martin Jones's mask and I say that's a nice mask, and I'm gonna let you finish. But Nabokov had the best mask of all time for the Sharks. The
No,
like
Nabby
the
down.
yeah
Nabby hands down. No,
the
I
like the
100% agree with AJ.
yeah those fish heads like hanging off with the skeleton and everything. No, he had the best
He
mask
had the most
hands down.
he had the most heavy metal goalie mask. It was pretty awesome. I
And like
have to
didn't
agree.
I remember like there was a couple times where he had to wear a different mask that it was it had to do with like it was a special occasion or something. I don't remember what the actual function was. Maybe he
Um,
had something for the 20th anniversary or something. I don't
no,
know.
he wasn't here for the 20th. When he was here early on, he had like the shark fin logo and it was like waves on the side. But then he also had a 10th anniversary mask that he wore for a little bit, along with his skeleton pulling out a fish head. Um,
I just remember there being one particular one where I was like, it just threw me off, and yeah, I was just like, whoa, that's not right. That's not Navi. It's like it wasn't Navi unless he was in that
oh,
fish head skeleton mask.
he had he got tired of the skeleton with the fish head, and for a couple of games he tried um, the Poseidon, and it had like the state of California seal on the back of it with his kids' names, and he didn't win a single game in it, so therefore
Yeah.
he got rid of it and went back to that. And when he eventually went to the Islanders and Lightning, he kept that theme going.
Yeah.
So
I just
for me,
I remember there being a game this past season. One of the few that Stalock actually started. You guys remember he came out and he just had like the all white helmet on. Do you guys remember
right.
that? He was
Yeah, because it was being
all
painted.
mask. And I was watching now, and he was looking pretty good for the first couple minutes. I was like, dude, maybe he should just keep the white. And then I think he let two really quick goals pass, and I was like, no, go back, intermission, paint that shit. You gotta
Yep.
paint it now. Like,
Exactly.
oh,
No, I've always loved navies. The other thing too is like didn't like both like Shield and Toscala they all had like it just seemed like for a very long time whether it was Toscala, Shield, Kelly, Rudy, they all had masks that had the base color was black, and like Navi was the first one really to wear one that was like teal, and I think that was the other thing that I thought. Yeah, that's the thing that kind of set me off, because I'm pretty sure that Navi for a brief time actually did have a mask with the skeleton and the fish heads, but it was a black base.
Yeah, he had that for games where they're supposed to be in the black jerseys.
Yeah, see, I'll just always love that teal fish head one. That's always been by far the best, because there was a couple, I can't remember, it wasn't Hackett. Wasn't there some goalie who had, because the one that always seemed the stupidest to me was, I think it was Hayward, had the mask that it looked like there was teeth, that he was inside a shark's head.
Yeah.
That one, I thought that was so stupid looking.
Really?
Yeah, like I thought, like I got the idea, but it's kind of like,
it was
you looked at it and
it was
like there's a shark eating our goaltender.
Yeah, see, what I think it was supposed to be, I don't think it was that he was inside of a shark, is that it was an actual shark being a shark head as the mask. And of course, that mask was so popular, it's in the Hockey Hall of Fame, and it inspired the Sharks to keep that, to therefore use it for their shark head. Because if you look at the comparison of the original shark head mask, because there's two actually, the first one is literally the basis of the shark's head tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and but I think by far who had the worst hockey Sharks goalie mask of all time is easily Eddie Belfour. Oh man, that eagle mask was so lame.
A couple of tweets coming in. Jones's actual mask is better than the one he has if you trade him to the Sharks in NHL 15. And Chester Chivo sent a picture in. Apparently, I guess when they put a mask in with the player, it doesn't get changed when they're traded, because he's wearing a Kings mask with the Sharks jersey on. Oh boy.
Oh jeez.
That here, let me get this on here really quick.
Go home, NHL 15. You are drunk and lost.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think so is, and I think so is Gen X, because as soon as I was talking about how Belfour's was the worst, he just sent me a picture of Belfour wearing that retarded mask.
That's the if you were to put Martin Jones with the Sharks in NHL 15, obviously that'll change in the next game, which I'm looking forward to. In fact, only two goaltenders actually have their actual masks in the game. And that would be Jonathan Quick and the then now recently retired Martin Brodeur. Those were the only two that had their actual masks in the game.
Wow.
Interesting.
Daryl Martin, hey, King Shark 49. The SAP Sharks, considering that Hasso still owns them, they might as well be called that. Yikes. In regards to our jersey.
It'll be the Sappy Sharks.
The Sappy Sharks. Oh, jeez.
Sappies!
Failing Jake.
I think it's
failing it, that says. Failing ball.
Why would somebody put failing in there?
He was upset that I didn't give him the link, but yeah, Nemo had a 20th anniversary mask.
Oh, okay.
Very
memorable, apparently.
Speaking of go home, you're drunk. Gen X apparently has had too much love. While the teal Eddie the Eagle helmet is probably the best one he's had. No. Just no. Just
No.
Just plain no.
no, because after all, I'll do whatever it takes to re-sign in San Jose, and then the first day of free
20
agency,
games later, see it.
2 hours in the free agency, he's signing with Dallas. Yeah, fuck that, fucking fuck.
But at least his goal is tainted, or his cup is tainted there.
But Chester Cheever says no to get real. But what are your thoughts on Patrick Kane being removed from the NHL 16 cover?
That was a big move by EA Sports. I mean, because that whole god.
I'll just sit
no,
here and talk with this.
Oh boy.
Okay. No, that whole investigation, I mean, that's going to be going on for quite a while, too. EA Sports wasn't going to wait around and see what was happening. They're like, nope, we're dropping you. You're not our spokesman. I guess they're going to put Taves on the cover now.
It's just, it was supposed to be Taves and Kane together.
How clean cut were hockey guys for the longest time, and then like over the last year, you've got this happening. You've got the shitstorm that is the LA Kings. It's like what happened?
I don't know. They're not releasing a whole lot of information about the case. Because it's not in Buffalo. Is it Hamburg, New York? It's somewhere. It's in the vicinity. The police are investigating. Aren't releasing a whole lot on it. But yeah, EA was just not going to wait around to see how that was going to play out. They're like, nope, you're not on the cover. You're not a spokesman. Just no.
And it's the second. And it's the second time that they replaced the cover. Heatley was supposed to be on the cover of, or actually was on the cover of NHL 2004. And then, of course, when the whole thing went down with his car accident, killing his teammate, it went. They quickly changed it to Joe Sakic. But to answer SJ Sharkbite's question, I'm ecstatic for NHL 16. I'm looking forward to the EASHL. Just the improved arena accoutrements. Having more of a realistic shark head. Sharky is in the game. And just the physics of it all has just been amazing with it. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I assume you two don't do the Xbox One or PS4?
I don't have either of those, but they look awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's beyond crazy realistic, which was just very scary.
I just have a feeling that if I got one of those, you'd never see my fat ass again.
The fat ass would just be, like, bigger.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be able to move my thumb so well. But did you were talking about changes to like the arena when it comes to the Xbox, but what about real life changes? Did you see the story about Levi's and what they plan on doing for the upcoming season, where they've actually lowered the price of water and lowered the price of beer? And this is the thing I think is so funny is they're talking about, well, instead of beers being $11.25 now, they're going to be $11. Because lines are taking too long because people were having to make change and give people, have to dig through quarters and blah, 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 blah.
Because making change for $11 isn't still going to take a long time, right?
Yeah, exactly. Not only that, but the thing that I thought was so funny is they said, well, we looked at some of our higher priced items or whatever, and we decided to round down. And I went, so $5.75 to $5 is rounding down. Sure, okay, in 49ers world, I'm sure that makes sense. Now, granted, I'm all for cheap. The fact that you have to pay $5 for a bottle of water, I think is, okay, yeah, we're in a drought, but let's talk about, in 3 years when we have El Nino and we're fine and water's all back. It's like, are you serious? Like,
I got everybody got that.
I know, right? But after that, it's like, okay, really, $5 for a fucking bottle of water? Like $3 max. $5? Get the fuck out of here, man. That's just, I don't get that. They're never gonna get me, man. They're never gonna get me. Unless somebody's gonna have to give me free tickets in the club level in some nice shady spot for me to ever go to see a live football game at Levi's. Not to mention the fact that it's like, for the money it would cost two people to go and sit in decent seats, have a few drinks, maybe grab a bite to eat or whatever, plus, you know, the parking and everything like that, you could buy a Sunday ticket. You know, I'd rather just do that.
Exactly. Exactly.
And now I wish they would have, if the blackouts were pulled from the Sunday ticket, or even
They have been.
They have been now.
Yeah, they said this season the blackout shit is supposed to not apply. So I'm excited for that. The thing that I'm excited about is I've heard about some sort of class. There's he lost his ears. I heard about a class. I read something about a class action lawsuit or something that essentially it made it so. And if you've heard differently, or if the people on Twitter, Gen X, Chester, Jake, if any of you heard different, let me know. But I heard something about that, like, say, for shits and giggles this season, center ice is $180, right? And that gets you, of course, every game, every night for the entire season.
Right.
Or, I think it's like, or you can pay like $100 and, you know, say that you're a San Jose Sharks fan living in St. Louis. And you don't care about seeing New York. You don't care about seeing Vancouver versus Calgary. You just want Sharks games. You can pay a significant discount. You only pay like $100, and it just unlocks Sharks-only games, and you can watch all of those.
Good deal.
And that's what they're also talking about doing with the whole Sunday ticket thing. That, you know, there's a lot of people that pay, you know, $350 or whatever Sunday ticket is, and it's only because they just, you know, they live here, but they really, really love the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they want to watch all those games or whatever. But they don't care about when they don't, you know, give a shit New England's playing Jacksonville that week or that Carolina's playing Atlanta. They just want to see how well the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing. So, yeah, no, I'm totally for that. I would go apeshit for that. You know, if I lived somewhere else, it's like, no, I don't want to pay. I don't want to see every game if I can just watch the Sharks or just watch the Giants or what have you.
Yeah,
I hear it.
yeah. I mean, I think it would be great to have, even with just local games being streamed, because it just seems like you can have, you know, it would suck. Like, say I'm at work. And let's be nothing against Hetty and Ruzanowski, but there's a difference about having the radio or watching the actual game. You know, Hurdle's 4-bowl game I watched when I was at Disneyland. You know, it wasn't until I was walking back to my hotel that ESPN Zone that I found out about the fourth bowl, and I was able to rewatch the game that night. When I'm up here, I have to wait 48 hours to watch a 2-day-old game.
Yeah, see, that's what throws it off to me. And let's be honest, I think that's. Do you know that if you could get if you could buy some sort of package where, just like how you have an app that you can download that you can like stream CBS programming or the HBO Now or anything like that, where you could just get an app for the Sharks. So every time they're showing a game, you can stream that game. You know, it's okay if it's, say, like maybe there's a 3 to 5 minute buffer. You know, you can kind of turn off your social media devices or whatnot, but still be kind of in real time sort of and get that. But, you know, I'm not gonna start watching a game where by the time I started, you know, I can look on my phone and already know how it ends. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing that I think that is saving companies like or Comcast, DirecTV, or what. It's the sports fan that's the one thing you really can't DVR. you can DVR anything except sports.
And that's a huge problem too. I noticed when I try to record games that were on NBC, like NBC Bay Area, yeah, I mean, there's just, it actually is blocked on my DVD recorder. You know, it sucks. I mean, kudos to NBC for actually having, Live Extra, where they actually have their own app. However, because of NHL restrictions, you can't get that for games that are on CSN. And I get it that they don't want to because of, they want the ratings and such. But I just think that there's so many things that you can reach for out there.
Absolutely.
It makes no sense.
And there's so many so that's the other thing too, is that if you're in living in a household and you have a couple, maybe 2, 3, maybe even 4 people, and they all want to get together and huddle up and watch the Sharks game. Well, then you have multiple people there, and maybe multiple people are helping pay that bill every month for TV. Whereas if it's just one person, you know what? Be damn that. There are several, shall we say, genuine and authentic websites that will stream this. Just like the one I used for the Ronda Rousey fight.
Genuine and authentic.
That's what I'm saying. Genuine, authentic, real deal. I want to
reliable.
Reliable. I want to use those descriptors, those adjectives, the genuine, authentic, real, instead of using the most overused adjective in all of sports talk right now. So we're going to go with genuine, authentic, but those are I don't know how many things I've watched on my computer that it's like I could cut the cord right now if it wasn't a case of being such a sports junkie and wanting the big screen and everything. And I'm sure if I could hook it all up to my big screen, I just don't feel like doing it because right now I have DirecTV. But yeah, if I wanted to cut the cord and it was just me living by myself, I would so do that. Hello, the puppy.
Oh, boo-boos! Oh.
Yes,
Marlo. Oh, Fluffy.
This is Marlo. This is Marlo. You see, I know the whole show stops. That Marlo is here. Sharky, you saw earlier. They were both sleeping, but this little baby.
Oh.
Hey, you want to see something cool? Is actually our ever faithful Gen X, who is the man, Generation X-Wing. If you're not following him, you should be. He just tweeted us a link that talks about, it's a breakdown of the whole single team TV package, and it says the NHL's new single team TV package is great, but the cost is not. Now, if you want to read into that, what you will. Like I said, Generation X-Wing just tweeted that, and he's got the link on there. But it talked essentially, it breaks it down to, it was a class action lawsuit that was taken by hockey fans against the NHL because of all this crap of making people pay for, and it's essentially kind of how the cable TV networks work. If you think about it, they make you pay for 500 channels, 30 of which you actually watch. So it says, just quickly here, it says the new single team package will cost 20% off the price of the full version of NHL Game Center Live, which will be 17% cheaper than it was last year. So to do the math real fast, Game Center Live, $159 last year. That means with that percentage off, hold on, it's $132 this year. 20% off that means that a single team package will be $105. So you're basically saving, well, I mean, for it's $105. If you spend $27 more, or basically about $1 more or $1 for every other team, you can watch it all. So yeah, that looking at that, yeah, that's kind of a fucked up deal. Like I would say, yeah, okay, I'll pay for so I can see every team. I'll pay $150 to see every team. But if I just want to see my team, I would think it should be like right around $60. I'll do that.
I understand what they're getting at,
Or
but
even $1 a game. Or no, I'm sorry. Well, it'd have to be like $2 a game, or $1.50 a game.
Yeah,
$1.50 a game, which would be about $60.
But here's my question though: Is the blackout rule exempt now? Or is it not worth it? If I want to get a Sharks one, and I'm in the Bay Area, am I SOL? Or
yeah, well, that I don't know. That's what needs to be looked at for. Because I'm pretty sure for this season, for the NFL, the whole blackout bullshit has been lifted for this season in the NFL. Yeah, for the NHL, I don't know. That would be something that could be pretty interesting. But even on here, they've done a breakdown. This is fuck Gen X. This is an awesome page. So it says...
Wow, that's nice to know. Just remember that, Gen X, okay? When you make fun of me, he said F you.
No, I said fucking A, this is a great breakdown. What are you talking about? It said, here's the team-by-team breakdown, not equal throughout the league. These numbers do not include NHL Network games, though, and the NHL Network is at that point yet to be announced. But... so it says it's broken it down into cost per game, and at the top of the list is Chicago at $1.72 cost per game on Game Center Live. The Sharks fall about, it looks to be just about in the middle, at $1.48 per game. And Calgary, and wow, apparently it pays to be a fan in Canada. The bottom 5 teams of this breakdown are all Canadian. 3 of them making up the Western Canada group: Edmonton, Vancouver, and Calgary. $1.30 for Edmonton per game. Then Ottawa, Winnipeg, Vancouver, and Calgary all at $1.28 per game. But I'm telling you, $1.50 per game. Yeah, I'm doing that. If it gets me, if I can cut the cord with other shit, like if you can find me one that'll also, like if there's a similar package where I can watch the Giants, because that's the only thing I really give a shit about. Sharks, the Giants, and the Niners, but the Niners shit, that's all major network stuff. They don't need a separate cable, that's all national broadcast stuff. So you hook me up with that, and you guys can do the math, but 82 games at $1.50, and then 162 games at $1.50. Is that cheaper than what cable is right now? Yeah, probably. I would imagine significantly.
But
I'm not doing that. That's math, and math hurts my head. You guys.
All right, hang on. So
and you have to do it. You have to do it over the course as well. You have to average it out. Okay, so what is that?
$123.
Okay, 150. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 1.50 times 82 equals 123 plus 1.50 times 162 equals 243. So
numbers.
So hold on, 243 plus 123 is 366. So $366 a year to watch all the local baseball and all the local hockey games that you care about. I pay that much in like 3 months of DirecTV. So if you're telling me that's all I would pay, because the rest of the stuff that I'm getting, it's like I get all my local news on Twitter or through the internet, and then with the rest of the TV shows, I download them through authentic and genuine means. I'll do that. I mean, hell yeah, I would do that. Jake is tweeting in, games broadcast on local and national television in your area are subject to blackouts and NHL Game Center Live from the NHL.
Yeah, Gen X
That's bullshit.
Too. you know,
bullshit.
Another tweet, Chester Tivo asking about my dog Marlowe. Is he a disgraced former captain too? No, he actually talks more than Marlowe does, which is actually slightly more than what Vlasic talked when he first came to the Sharks. Gen X, hey, Freaky Deeks need love too. Let's see. Chester Tivo, speaking of which, the NHL Network, it is moving to New Jersey. Yes, they'll have a new studio and everything ready to go in time for the season. And then all the websites.
Oh, I see. It sounds like Eric's AOL connection kicked in.
It's not me!
Yeah.
It's not my fault! Yes! It's contagious.
Netich with Mathematics After Dark.
No. I don't do math, you guys. I don't like it. Without shark stats for, like, my...
Oh. You know, I mean, I'm not. Believe me, I'm not like. I'm not professing to be a huge fan, but I don't have the hate for her that a lot of others do. But somebody just tweeted out, "Fuck you and the Amy G you wrote in on." Damn. No. Just in general.
Oh.
But just to tweet that out, it's like, man, what did Amy G ever do to you? You know, it's like she's doing her gig. Is she the best at it? Probably
You're
not.
having AOL.
Is she the worst at it? Probably not. It's just, but you know, it's like, what are you gonna do? You know, it's her gig. Although I will say, the funniest thing that happened in like the last week or so is she was, you know, she's doing her you know, man on the street type thing, or you know, her girly in the stands interview, and or not interview, but her update. And the funniest thing was she was doing a quick like 20-second update hit on Aoki being on the disabled list, when they were looking at him coming back, and his injury, and basically saying that he was on the IR, you know, or well, obviously in
disabled list.
Yeah, in baseball it's the DL, not the IR. But she kept on saying the word injury. You know, it's like, and we're hoping that he can get out. You know, they're hoping, the Giants are hoping he can get out of the DL and past his injury. You know, in the next 2 weeks, blah blah blah. This is brought to you by you know, Stanley Leibowitz, your injury attorney and consultant. I just started dying. And it's like, so the injury report is sponsored by an injury attorney. I'm like, it's just cool when things work out. You know what I mean? It was just really funny.
Oh my god.
Oh, like that was hysterical.
And we've come full circle, and we're back to the ads.
Yeah.
Not bad for off. Oh.
Looks like we're all freezing up. It might be time to call it a night.
I think it is.
Yeah. Well,
I think it is. Where?
I don't know. I think he might be. Yeah, his AOL connection. Oh, you know, it's after 10, so maybe his hours. You know, his his 3 minutes expired.
He's not here to do his sign off though.
Uh-oh.
He should do his for him. His keep it fresh.
His theft of Randy Hans. So, yeah, you know, I would, but you know what? I don't know how to turn off the broadcast because he's the one that started it. So you know what's gonna be? You know what's gonna be funny? Me and you are gonna get off this broadcast right now, and then he's gonna end up logging on out in about a minute. There's gonna be no one here.
All right.
So
I'm outie.
Yeah, it was fun to hook up with you guys again. I'll probably talk to you soon. If not at what is it? The Sharks Fan Fest. It'll be soon afterwards.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Take it easy.